This episode is brought to you in part by
Hello and welcome to the People Chronicles Storied Women. I'm Anna Rosengara Milch and I am your host. I am also the author of Lunch with Lucille. Now, Lunch with Lucille is a story of how one woman's life impacted another woman's because she shared her story. And so here on Storied Women, we bring women from our community to share their story. And today, birthday girl over here, Melissa DeStefano, right, is our guest. And so I would like to ask you this one, the one magic question, birthday girl. What is it that you want us to remember from this chat today?
So I've been thinking about this for a little bit, and I think I would like people to take away from this conversation three things, and that's kindness, decency, and humanity. We're in this big, beautiful world together, and there are so many different walks of life all around us, and we don't know their stories. And I hope people are willing to share their stories just so that we can educate one another. I believe that people walk around with preconceived notions and stigmas that are very negative and can be very judgmental and hurtful. And I believe that if people share their stories and are willing to be open about their journeys, that there will be more acceptance in the world.
Yeah, and I know that you've been on a journey. Your family's been on a journey.
Yes.
So could you share that journey with us?
So, yeah, I mean, my journey is very long, and it includes many different facets of positivity and negativity. Just recently, I would say that the biggest impact on my life and my family's life is the fact that my son came out as transgender.
And so how long ago is that?
Oh gosh, it's been a long time. Publicly, it's been about 4 years now.
Okay.
But privately, it was much longer.
Okay, so you were well aware of his desire to come out, or you were not? Or you speculated? I mean, because a mother, a mother, we know it all. I mean, so there's not.
Yeah, well, what I was thinking was not the truth. I was always thinking that my child was going to come out as a lesbian, and I was always fine with that. I embraced many different walks of life,
sure.
And I just wanted my child to be okay with who they were. So I was prepared for that conversation, Mom, I'm a lesbian, but instead I got, Mom, I was born in the wrong body. And that kind of threw me through a loop because I was not prepared for that conversation. It was a tough time. I was going through a divorce at the same time, and I felt very alone. I did not know anybody else that had been on that journey. And a lot of that has to do with my previous statement. Had more people shared their journeys, I think I would have been more equipped to handle that dialogue with my
Sure.
child at the time.
Sure. So what did you do? So tell me what happened then.
Oh, I went right to the internet. Isn't that what everybody does? I don't know what we did, 30 years ago when we didn't have that.
So there really was no person. There was
was
just this entity or this
it was
electronic
Google.
Communication.
It was Google. And the things that popped up about this topic it was a lot of negativity. And I was engrossed in suicide rates and violence and discrimination and judgment. And I felt like the wind was out of my sails. I didn't know what I could do as a mom.
Sure, because our instincts are, of course, is that we love this child and we want everything that's to make it easy for them. And then, this is what we want them to have, an easy life and a good life and a safe life. And now you're reading all of this, and this is, well, it's been so frightening.
Yeah, and you need a tribe around you when you experience
sure.
Information like this. And not knowing anybody that had gone through that or anybody that even was on that same path was it was defeating and it was lonely.
I can imagine, sure.
I kind of made a vow at that point that if we get through this, I mean, I knew we were going to get through it, but when we get through it, I was going to be that point person for somebody else. Because I did not have anyone to reach out to. So now I reach out to other families, or I am open to other families coming to me and sharing my journey, because I really think that sharing is what educates people.
Great. So, all right. So had Aiden not decided to come out, you would not have put yourself out there. You would not have been educated yourself, and now putting yourself out there for other women, or other people, I shouldn't say, but just other people who might be experiencing the same thing. And so tell me what you do with that now.
So I'm involved in many different advocacy groups, the ACLU, Human Rights Campaign, Pennsylvania Youth Congress, Free Mom Hugs, and just a basic point person for anybody. I get reach outs from a lot of different people that say, hey, Melissa, I know about this mom that's struggling. Do you mind if I give her your contact information? And I always say yes. Sometimes they call, other times they don't. But I think just to know that they have this number of this person who gets it, who's been there, who's walked next to their child, who's dealt with their family, who's dealt with the schools, I think it just opens up a whole new avenue for them to find the support that they need. It wasn't until I found a support group in a therapy, a counseling center that specialized in this.
Is this local?
It was in Douglasville.
Oh, great.
They also have centers in Collegeville. It was called Sanctuary Counseling. They really helped Aiden and I both, and my daughter Michaela, understand what this journey was going to mean for the entire family. And initially, Aiden didn't want anything to do with it. He's like, absolutely not.
He didn't want anything to do with the counseling?
No, because he did his own research. And I think when he researched therapy, it was all about conversion therapy, which is horrible.
Oh, sure.
And I think that's what he was thinking. That was my aim. And I said, absolutely not. My aim is to educate you, to educate me, so that we can educate everybody else. Because, it's not just Aiden that's going through this. It was our immediate family and our extended family and our schools and our churches, and it was just everything, our neighborhood. You have to have enough knowledge about what journey you're on to be able to help other people walk alongside you.
Good point. Really good point. Yeah. So how is your support system now?
Fabulous.
Did it blow you away that people were so open and understanding?
It really did. It blew me away. When Aiden came out, he came out publicly on Facebook, and I wasn't too keen about that as a mom. His was a video. I followed up with a letter, and I asked very kindly in the letter to not share any negativity, because the only way that we're going to make this journey the way it needs to be is to be positive and to focus on those 3 words I mentioned earlier: kindness, decency, and humanity, right? Because there's enough negativity in the world, and if people want to share that negativity with us, it's just going to poke another hole in our tire. And why? To what cause? What would your judgment or your preconceived notions or stigmas against what we're dealing with, who is that going to benefit?
Yeah.
So I just kindly ask that they not share that type of negativity with us, and to just be respectful. And most people were. The people who weren't, we kindly said, well, we'll move on, and good luck.
But I know you also run into the system as being a kind of like a stonewalling you, as far as when it came to changing his name.
Yes. So Aiden's very first taste of discrimination was done at the judicial level. When we filed for his name change, it was denied in a court system.
For the reason of? No reason.
No reason.
Okay.
No reason. So you can only lead yourself to believe that it was a discriminatory reason. So we had to fight that, and that was the beginning of my advocacy, I would say. I was never before, when Aiden came out to me as being transgender, was I somebody who was going to stand up for, other than, you defend your kids' rights, right? But I was non-political. I was not willing to step on anyone's toes, very quiet, backseat kind of person. Once that judge denied my son his name, I had kind of propelled myself into being an advocate and fighting for what's right, based on his humanity.
Sure. So it's amazing, though, how what our children can do for us. This whole journey that we think Aiden is on, it's been a real growth journey for you. I mean, it has made you an incredible mother, an incredible woman. I mean, it's really taken you to a whole new level. Yeah.
It really has. Everybody has bumps on their roads, but when you're really knocked down, you have two choices. You can either stay down or get back up. And I chose to get back up and face it with decency and kindness and humanity. Sorry, I'm stuck on that.
I love it. I think we need to remember the decency, kindness, and humanity. Yeah. I mean, what an incredible world it would be if we all could just focus on that.
I'm hopeful.
Yeah, I am hopeful as well. You know, but I know that you have an extremely supportive family. I know I met your mom. And I love her stories about how she how she tells people that her granddaughter was now a grandson. Yeah. It's a great family that you have, and I was just taken so with you all that is why you're here today. Is why I wanted you to come and share your story, because I think you have a great story to share with people. You know, with that kindness and decency and humanity for everybody, regardless of anything. You know.
Yeah. It's, you know, when you're brought up in a family, you're taught to put people in these boxes. I like to think that you're not taught that, but we really are. You know, based on your community.
Not intentionally.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's based on your community. You know, I was brought up in small town Cadillac, Michigan, and I was not exposed to a lot of different walks of life in small town Cadillac, Michigan. And then I moved out to Pennsylvania, and a whole new world opened up. And the diversity is just so extreme that why wouldn't you want to learn about each and every person that you share this planet with? You know, it's enlightening, it's inspirational, and if their story doesn't touch you, I don't know.
But it's that acceptance. So we have to open ourselves to acceptance, and that, you know, that creates a little bit of a vulnerability. Is when you start accepting people for who they are, you become vulnerable.
Right.
You know.
Right. So. Well, and sharing your story is a big part of that
really
as well.
is.
You have to be okay with who you are as a person, I think, to be able to, you know, to swallow that vulnerability and be okay with speaking your truth.
Yeah. I appreciate you coming in and speaking your truth.
Sure.
And sharing Aiden's story, a little bit of Aiden's story. I know you have a much bigger story to tell. But tell me now, you're on the speaking circuit. Do you do the speaking circuit?
Not really.
Not really?
No. We've done a few things here and there,
okay,
but not necessarily on the circuit.
On the circuit, okay. But if there is a group that would want to get in touch with you for you to share your story with them, would you be willing to do that?
I would definitely be willing,
okay.
Yes.
Great,
yes.
That would be great. Thank you, Melissa.
Certainly.
So you can get in touch with us here at the People Chronicles if you would like Melissa and Aiden to come to speak to your group, or you can always just keep watching. Maybe Melissa will be back. Thank you so much, and thank you for watching.
Thank you.